Hi team, happy Thursday and welcome to another workout from me. So today's workout is an E2 more, so that's every 2 minutes on the 2 minutes, and there are there's four 2-minute blocks in total, and you're going to repeat all of them 3 times through. So you'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 and then come back up to block 1 again. So block 1, it's all body weight, but there's some focuses on your tempo in some of the moves. So your first superset is 15 body weight squats. So taking your feet to about hip distance apart, you're turning the toes out to where they're comfortable, keeping the chest lifted. So 15 squats. Do feel free to add some weight to this if you like. However, the focus is very much on the tempo. So you're going to take 3 seconds to come down in your squat. You're then going to hold for 2 seconds when you reach the bottom. Come back up, wait for a second at the top before going again down for 3, 2, 1. Waiting for 2 seconds at the bottom, pushing back up, and then waiting again for a second at the top before you go again. So 15 of those tempo squats, followed immediately by 20 jump squats. So you'll sink down into the legs, and then drive up as high as you can. So a real good challenge for the legs there in block 1. Block 2, we're going to focus a little more on the back of the body. So coming down to the floor, we're going to take a glute bridge. So heels close to your hips. Really drive down through the heels and through your shoulders and shoulder blades. Squeeze the glutes to reach the top. Take a 1 second pause at the top before slowly lowering back down. And then again, squeezing for a second, hold at the top and coming back down. So that's your glute bridge. 15 repetitions, taking that pause at the top of your bridge. Supersetted with 15 walkouts. So focusing on the hamstrings, the core and the shoulders as well. So taking the feet about hip distance apart. Come down to a sort of kind of half deadlift position. You're pushing the tailbone back. Feel the hamstrings engage. Hands find the floor. Walk out, hold for a second in your plank. And walk yourself back in. So 15 glute bridge with a 1 second pause at the top, and then 15 walkouts holding that plank just for kind of half a second to a second at the bottom. So that's your block 2. For your block 3, you've still got 2 minutes of work to complete this, but a shorter block of work. So just 15 burpees. So come down to the floor, control the descent on the way down. So maybe you're dropping to the knees to drop the chest down between the thumbs, chest and thighs hit the floor, push back up, and a jump at the top. So do really focus on that descent at the bottom as your chest comes down to the floor. So what we want to try and avoid is that sort of snaking through the back. We want to look after the back. So keeping the spine nice and long as you come down towards the floor to really help kind of control, and then just getting a little bit more focus through the shoulders, through the triceps as you're controlling that descent. Your 4th and final block, speaking of focusing on the shoulders and the triceps, we are going to work the upper body a little more. So 15 A-frame press-ups to start off with. So coming into a pike position, so almost like a downward facing dog. Heels are lifted off the floor, and then your head comes down between your hands. So it might not be a huge range of movement, but we're keeping the hips nice and high, and we're taking the head down between the hands. So again, just really focusing on the shoulders a little more than the chest in this press up. 15 of those A-frame press ups, followed by 20 regular press ups. So coming down nice and long on the floor, shoulders are directly above the wrists, knees or toes. Again, I want you to really focus on your descent. So we're squeezing the elbows into the sides of the body. Hold for a second at the bottom of your press up. Maybe drop to your knees before pushing back up, and then come into your plank. So your option is going to be to drop to the knees, lower down, hold for that second at the bottom, push back up, and then come back to your plank. So whether you are working on your knees or your toes, do always come back up to that full plank position, and make sure you're taking that pause right at the bottom of the press up. Again, whether that's on the knees or the toes. So we're squeezing into the triceps, we're getting into the chest. We've also got quite a bit of core recruitment there as well. So there's your 4 blocks. So 2 minutes to complete each one. Ideally, you're going to get sort of 15, 20 seconds rest between. If you're not If you're not getting that amount of recovery, maybe start to scale some of these reps back a little bit. As I say, I really want you to focus on the strength, the strength in this, and those pauses at the top and the bottom of the moves, and the pace that you're taking everything through. You've got block 3 for your 15 burpees, so that's where your heart rate is going to rise a little bit more. That's your cardio phase. So yeah, really focus on the pace, as opposed to the pace of the moves, as opposed to how quickly you're getting through those 2 minutes. So 15-20 seconds of rest ideally. So if you're not getting that, then just start to scale these numbers back a little bit as you move through. So work through blocks 1 to 4, come back up to block 1, repeating 3 times. You've got about 24 minutes of work there. Enjoy.